Moving into chapter 10, what we're doing specifically is really understanding what it is that we need to change. So that is the first thing that we're going to do, is really research and understand what's available to us and this is 10.1. So 10.1 is really what is the qualitative, or what is the research process in general first. So qualitative research techniques are where we begin by assessing the research problem. So we start with the research problem. We want to attain this goal, and this is against the Bible or the Charter. And then we establish what are we going to do to identify where we are today, in order, what are we going to do to identify what we're doing today that may need to be changed in order to get to the next level, or the goal or the objective that we're looking to obtain. And we're going to first look at secondary research data, and that's secondary sources. Secondary sources is existing data. So collecting, just like what you're doing with the brand audit, we're collecting sources of secondary data, be it competitors, our consumers, the demographics of those consumers, the preferences of the consumers, and then after analysis, we're going to make a recommendation of what needs to change. There'll be times when we'll actually do additional research, and that is called primary research, and it yields primary data. But we don't start with primary data. We don't start by asking questions on a survey. We have to look at what we already have, and that is something that's on hand. It's sales receipts. It's all of the customer sentiment that we just gathered internal to the firm. And after we figure out what we don't have, then we go forward and we create primary data from doing research. So again, that's a little counterintuitive. Secondary data we look at first. Primary data is what we generate in order to address a problem that may not be solved by what we have on hand. The problem with secondary data is that it's never really exactly what we're asking for the question. So we have to triangulate the results by piecing together, just like we have with the brand audit, piecing together everything that we need and we can find, and then determine what we do. We do that primary research, yielding primary data. So again, secondary data previously collected or on hand. When we think of the external sources, you've been out there on the web looking at all of this information, but in addition to that, you'll be looking at the companies, you'll be looking at annual reports, you'll be looking at reports to stockholders, YouTube videos, anything that's possibly influencing that brand. The next part of what we're going to be looking at is the external data. And external data is things that are available, like you just saw through the brand audit, all of these different sites that are already analyzing for us for brand audit, including the government, the news, and public reviews. And we did capture some of those pieces as we walked through the brand audit. There's advantages and disadvantages. The secondary data is on hand, and you can use it instantaneously, but it takes some time to collect it and match it up and pull it all together. The primary data, unfortunately, is going to cost more money because you have to take the time to design the research, take the time to do what you need to do to bring that data in, meaning a survey or qualitative research interviews. But again, look at those secondary sources, just another page coming up here, of what's there, and then we take the time to go out and do qualitative research and then quantitative research. Again, some examples of the research and what we'll do. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to segment this out, and we'll start on qualitative research next.